Hi, I'm Dewey Hollister, the Executive Director of the St. George Village Botanical Garden, the botanical garden of the Virgin Islands. And I wanted to show you an interesting tree that you probably have seen being sold in florist shops or other kinds of garden centers. This is what you may know as the lucky nut tree. And oftentimes you'll see it in a pot and the stems are braided together and it's got this very distinctive fingery looking leaf to it. But it's actually quite a large growing tree from South America, and it is also a very confused tree. Many people will also think that lucky nut is actually Guiana chestnut. This is not Guiana chestnut. It's a very close relative of Guiana chestnut. This is Saba nut. The two are just very slightly different. Guiana chestnut, Pachira aquatica, has maybe a bigger grower. Pretty much the seeds are a little larger and they float in water. It grows in water, has a big white poof of stamens with red tips. So that's rather distinctive. Saba nut grows in rainforest, but not in water and not in swamps. And it has a perfectly white flower, no red in it. Again, a big poof of stamens, like a bottle brush kind of thing, or a shaving brush kind of look. They do have a distinctive growth habit, both of them. The Saba nut, or Pachira glabra, which is the botanical name, grows in tiers. You can see the levels where branches come from one spot, then they come from another spot, they come from another spot. You can also see that the bark is very green, and that'll stay green till the plant gets pretty darn big. So that's a very good characteristic that you can look for about this plant. You cannot keep lucky nut or Saba nut alive in a pot braided for a long period of time. It will eventually strangle itself. So eventually you'll have to separate it into its separate plants if you want to keep it growing. Here I separated it into separate plants and I planted one in the ground, and it produces a lot of nuts. And let me show you that. Here are segments of the seed pod, and you can see the nuts. They're about the size of a hazelnut. You can eat them raw or you can cook them. And the Saba nut is a very nutritious, easy to grow nut, and the tree is very easy to grow. And I will tell you, this tree survived not one hurricane, but two, both of which were Category 5s. And the day after each hurricane, the plant looked like, oh, what was that about? And really had no problems whatsoever. I know of a few trees that were on the island that got snapped off a little bit, but grew quickly back. So it's actually a very durable tree. Also will tolerate some dry conditions, which is good for us here in St. Croix. So next time you see a lucky nut tree with its little braided stems, think about how big it's going to get. And this is still not anywhere near a full-grown tree. And think of the tropics where it came from. And I hope to see you here in the tropics again very soon.